Hello, everybody. I'm Susan Guthrie, and this is another episode of the Divorce in a Better Way YouTube channel. Today, I want to touch on the topic of online family mediation. Certainly, as we are going through the COVID pandemic and the social distancing, which no longer, has all of our courts closed, I am receiving a huge number of questions and inquiries about online mediation. And frankly, I've been mediating online for 5 years or more and have always found it to be a very accessible way to work through your divorce or family law matters. But certainly right now, it's pretty much the only game in town. For many of you who are stuck in situations where you have unresolved issues with your co-parent, with your soon-to-be ex-spouse, with your already ex-spouse post-dissolution, you have limited choices on where to turn. And so what I am finding, and I consider this a good thing, is that many people who in the past perhaps had not considered mediation are now considering it, thinking it's the only, option that they have. If that's your thought, I'm glad you're considering it. I want you, and I think you will realize when you get involved with mediation that it was a lucky thing that brought you to mediate. But an additional layer of information right now is that most mediations need to take place in an online platform. Now, what does that mean? Truly, it just means that you are going to conduct your mediation via online video conferencing. Many mediators are using Zoom, WebEx. What are some of the other ones? Skype for Business. There are all different kinds of video conferencing platforms where your mediator will set up a private meeting with you and your co-parent or your spouse or your ex-spouse and help you just as they would do in person. They will walk you through all the steps that you need to go through to deal with your matter. Now, I say it that way because I also want you to understand that a family law mediator does not only do divorce. Family law mediators, yes, can help you from start to finish to process your divorce, but a family law mediator can also help you figure out what you're going to do about support if one of you has, or both of you have decreased income during the COVID situation. I know a lot of people are being laid off, furloughed, losing hours, or losing their jobs, and that is having a significant impact on both payors of support and recipients of support. The reality is you're going to need to deal with that. If people have lost their jobs, they've lost their jobs. Are they receiving unemployment? There's a lot of factors to look at, but rather than let that just sit and fester, why not deal with that issue, sit down, talk it out, and make an agreement on how you're going to go forward and how you might change things if things change in the future. Other things that are coming up very rapidly for people, and certainly as an ongoing thing, are parenting plans. Kids are out of school, parents are out of work, other parents are working even more. Some parents are in the healthcare field. So there's a myriad of different issues that are also coming up around parenting. Rather than sit in conflict or sit in an uncertain situation where you have no resolution, it is far better to reach out to a mediator, sit down online in an online meeting space with your ex or with your co-parent and have a conversation about how you're going to co-parent. You both need to face reality. And the reality is courts are not going to be available to you in any way, shape, or form in the near future in many cases. Even when they open back up, it is going to be very difficult to get a court date because you are certainly not the only people who are going to be looking for one. And there's already people in the pipeline for whenever they do open back up, plus all the people who were supposed to be being heard right now during COVID. They're all going to be looking to be getting rescheduled. So, I am always an advocate for mediation, even more so right now, because the only thing that comes from having to wait to resolve disputes is that the conflict gets bigger. Conflict does not implode on itself, it explodes, it expands. And so if you have a discrete issue, you may be able to resolve that in a very short session with a mediator. And your mediator is perfectly capable of focusing in on one issue that needs immediate attention, or doing a whole broad spectrum of issues. And the best part about establishing a relationship with a mediator is that as you continue to have things that need resolution as you go forward in your co-parenting relationship or post dissolution, it's a much better, much more economical, much more time efficient way to resolve anything that might come up. So if you and your ex are in some way unable to work through these things together, then get a skilled facilitator in there, a mediator who's there as a neutral to help you both. So that online platform, which has always been available, is right now the best option, and in fact is an excellent option. So I urge you all to reach out, Google online divorce mediation, online family mediator. Many mediators are offering their services online now because they can't meet with people in person. So there are a number of mediators out there who are offering their services. If you are in a state, you can probably find a mediator anywhere in the state. You don't need to be geographically near them. And depending on what the issue is, some mediators will work with people outside of their state, say on a parenting plan issue or something like that, that don't need to necessarily be state-specific law. So I urge you to reach out for a mediator if you and your ex are having issues, whether they be a discrete single issue or an entire divorce. Online mediation is the way that you are going to be able to economically, time efficiently, and with less stress on both of you. You can be sitting on your couch while you go through this. It can be a much more efficient and better practice for both of you. So I urge you to reach out for an online mediator. I have more resources around online mediation and videos, so please take a look at those. I've also done some podcast episodes on online mediation and dispute resolution, notably one with my friend and colleague Gabrielle Hartley. You can find those at divorceandbeyondpod.com. We have a wonderful bunch of just regular episodes as well as some specific to COVID. So I urge you to go look at those again, divorceandbeyond.pod.com, and as well as on the website, Divorce in a Better Way. So I'll see you soon. Hope you're doing well.